Sometimes we start telling a story, but very quickly realize that this is not going as planned. Like this sounded much better in our heads and is not coming out as entertainingly as we thought it would. And sometimes it's the other way around. Somebody else starts telling a story, but it just doesn't seem to have a beginning, middle, or end. But we are sucked into it and we don't know how to escape. So clearly, storytelling is an art. Because some people, they say the most mundane, everyday, smallest of things, but they're so entertaining, so funny, or just so enthralling to listen to. They could be talking about opening an umbrella, or catching a bus, or just washing their hands, and it would still be something to listen to. Some people go to a party and they tell such amazing stories, make everybody sit around and listen to them. And then some people we just kind of, go into the background and we're not even there. So how do we become a better storyteller? Hi, my name is Rai. I'm a former radio and television host, but out here, I'm your public speaking and communications coach. And here's what I know. Well, when I was in radio, and I've been on radio for over thousands of hours, I haven't exactly calculated, but I have had a lot of call-in shows and people would call and tell their stories, and sometimes I would have to tell a lot of stories, and radio had that thing that I have worked for both format radio and talk radio. So format means you have to talk very quickly within a minute, and talk radio means you have to go on for hours. So I have developed this capacity to tell a big story in just a couple of sentences. But I also had to develop the skill to say a small story but stretch it out so that it covers an hour. So I could tell you both ways how this works, but a few things. And this is something which I felt also with my guests, because sometimes we'd have guests over in the studio and they would be so entertaining to listen to, and sometimes they would just answer in monosyllables, or they start telling a story or start giving an answer so long and winding. So from all these experiences, I've picked up a few things that does work and does not work. So here it goes. See, when you're telling a story, first of all, tell the context, but quickly. Because sometimes I know people in my family who just start telling about an old timer story, something that happened long time ago, and they just assume I know who they're talking about. I don't know who you are talking about. Like, tell me a little more into it. So I went there and then she said, who is this she? You were 10 people in that group. Who are you talking about? So give the context, where, when, what. It sounds so obvious, but people sometimes actually do miss it. Okay? Sometimes they miss out on a certain very important information. They skip it altogether and they think in their heads that everybody has actually or know it, they assume or something like that. So make sure you give the context. But then you also have to avoid this pitfall of talking too much about yourself or what you were doing in the moment and get into this, drawing a picture thing. You're not writing a novel. You don't have to paint a picture. So let's say I call you and you're unable to pick up the phone. Or sorry, let me be a little more polite. You call me and I'm not able to pick up the phone. So then I say, what? At that time, I just come out of my bath. I'd in fact even laid my clothes on the bed and, but I couldn't find my comb. I always keep my comb in one place, but that one time, I don't know what happened. I had put my comb somewhere else and I couldn't find. So I went to this room, that room. Anyway, after 5-6 minutes, long story short, I found it. But when I went back into the room, then I saw your missed call. So that's why I couldn't pick up your phone. Are these details really necessary? So this is like a small thing, small example, but sometimes even when telling a bigger story, people just get into this winding conversation. Okay, so try to skip those details about yourself that really don't matter to the story. So that is point number 2. Point number 3 we have is to keep it developing, but make sure that you're moving towards the end, like make it fast, because sometimes you just say and repeat it, because repeating sentences is a thing. So somebody will say a thing and then say the thing in a different way and then again say it in a third different way, and they kind of seem to get scattered in that area, and you're like, okay, make that story move. So try to make your story move. And you might think, but if I say it too fast, it's not going to sound like a story. I'm going to just say a line and it's going to be over. That's okay. If one sentence is all it takes, it is what it is. Okay, We're not writing Ramayana over here. It's not going to be epic. It's going to be quick, but that's okay. It just needs to be precise, isn't it? It just needs to be impactful, you know? It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be big, it has to be impactful. So you say what you need to say, and you don't need to go beyond that. So these are like the basic 3 elementary tips that I have for you that you can remember while you're telling a story to somebody else. But here's what something also to avoid. This is like a bonus point, because we have this habit sometimes. Somebody's telling a story and we have a similar story and we say, oh yeah, and it also happened to me and what I did. And you know, once in a while that's cool, that's absolutely fine. But some people get into the trap of always trying to come up with their story, so much so that sometimes they would say a story pretty far removed and say, this is exactly what happened to me. And then when you listen to the story, it's not at all exactly like that. So don't try to force fit yourself. It's okay. Let the other person have their story. You don't have to be the exact same person. You don't have to have a similar experience. Your experience could be completely different or none at all. So that's all fine. So avoid this trope of becoming the, oh, also happened to me person. People shouldn't go, oh, there she goes, or there he goes. Now he's going to say it happened to him also. You don't want to be that person. So be a little conscious that you're not doing that. So that's how you become a better storyteller, by not having your original stories to say, not follow up on other people, and just keeping it clean, making sure you hit the important points, but don't repeat and don't say unnecessary details, okay? All right, I hope this video helped you, and if it did, please like this channel, subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment. Where are you watching from, by the way? Because I have no clue. My analytics are not up yet, so I need to know, and I can only know if you comment down below where you're watching me from, how much this video is reaching anywhere or anyone. I would get to know from your comments. Any other ideas, suggestions, topics you have in mind, feel free, because it's a new channel. I'm going to make a ton of, I've already made a ton, but I'm going to make lots and lots more videos for you to watch. So please keep sending me all these, little ideas that you might have. Sometimes you might get stuck with something. Please put it down in the comments now, later, whatever. So subscribe so that I can meet you in our next video.